My dear, I'm truly and deeply sorry. It took me far longer than it should have to understand your real intentions, your real feelings, and the quiet struggles you were fighting within yourself. For the longest time, I lived under the belief that you didn't care about me, that your moments of distance or silence were signs that I wasn't important to you. I interpreted your aloofness as indifference, when in reality, you were carrying the weight of past wounds, wounds that still needed time, gentleness, and space to heal. I'm sorry that I never paused long enough to see that. I'm sorry that I never thought to view the world from your perspective, that I never tried to understand your pain or the shadows that lingered from your past. Instead of having honest conversations with you, instead of asking you what you were feeling or needing, I allowed my own insecurities and fears to take control. I filled my mind with assumptions and imagined stories, each one pulling me further from you. Rather than clearing the misunderstandings, I allowed them to grow. I widened the distance between us with my silence, my stubbornness, and my refusal to simply ask you what was truly going on. I behaved childishly and irresponsibly. I acted as though only my emotions mattered, as though only I could be hurt. The truth is, I never once stopped to consider that I might be the one who was wrong. And in today's world, where it is so easy, almost effortless, to blame another person without fully understanding their circumstances or listening to their truth, I ended up doing exactly that. I acted rashly. I accused you of things you never did. I let anger, frustration, and hurt guide my words, and in doing so, I ended up hurting the person I claimed to love. You tried, more than once, more than twice, to explain your side, to share your truth, to help me understand what you were going through. But I refused to listen. I shut the door on your attempts to communicate, and I wrapped myself in the comfort of believing my own misguided assumptions. It is only now, after finally understanding everything I should have known earlier, that I realize how foolish I was. Today, I feel like the biggest fool on the planet, and it pains me to know that I brought tears, confusion, and disappointment into your life. I feel like folding my hands before you and begging for your forgiveness, not because I deserve it, but because my heart aches with regret for the way I behaved. Had I listened to you, had I given you the chance to explain, had I shown even a little patience or compassion, things would not have spiraled into such hurt and distance. Now that I finally see the truth, I can't help feeling that perhaps I don't deserve you at all. You deserved understanding, but I misunderstood you. You deserved support, but I judged you. You deserved warmth, but I responded with coldness. And now, I find myself at a loss, unsure of how to apologize in a way that could truly express the depth of my regret. At the time, I felt betrayed. I felt as though you had wronged me without cause. But now, knowing everything I know, I feel lost because I misread the situation entirely, lost because I failed the one person whose heart I should have protected. I know you have a big and generous heart. I know you are capable of forgiveness. I know that if there is even a small space left within your heart for me, you might eventually find the strength to forgive me. But what terrifies me is the question of how I will ever face myself again. How do I look into my own eyes knowing that I hurt the person who loved me with sincerity? How do I accept forgiveness when I struggled to offer even basic understanding? I now realize how deeply I misunderstood your love, your silence, and your pain. I was so absorbed in my own emotions that I never once considered what you might have been going through. I didn't stop to notice how exhausted you were from carrying emotional burdens. I didn't recognize that your silence was not distance, but a quiet plea for time, for healing, for patience. You did not deserve the harsh words I spoke or the accusations I made. You deserved love, compassion, and gentleness. You deserved a partner who would stand beside you in both pain and joy. Instead, I failed to understand my responsibilities and allowed my pride to damage what was precious between us. I deeply, sincerely regret everything that happened. If you can find it within your heart, please forgive me. Please give me a chance to fix what I broke, to show you that I can learn, grow, and love you the way you truly deserve. Every word I say comes from the deepest part of my heart. I am genuinely repenting for my actions, and I can only hope that there is still love in your heart for me, love strong enough to forgive me, even if I may not deserve it. My love, I know I'm not the best person in the world, and I've never claimed to be. I make so many mistakes, some small, some significant, and I often take longer than others to understand things. At times, even the simplest conflicts feel overwhelming to me, as though I'm unequipped to handle them. But you, my dear, are the best person in the world for me. You are the one who balances me, strengthens me, and helps me grow in ways I never imagined possible. Since the day I met you, something inside me began to shift. I felt myself slowly changing, evolving into someone more grounded, more confident, and more aware. I didn't even realize how much of myself I had been suppressing until you showed me what it meant to truly live. Before you came into my life, I was constantly afraid of offending someone. It was as if I walked through life tiptoeing, always calculating every word and every gesture, terrified of disappointing people. I would tell others what they wanted to hear instead of what was true, because I dreaded the thought of someone being upset with me. I couldn't stand the idea of being on someone's bad side, so I molded myself into whatever shape people expected from me. I became a people pleaser in every sense. I said yes even when every part of me wanted to say no. I sacrificed my comfort just to maintain harmony. There were countless moments when I went along with things I didn't want, all because the fear of rejection was stronger than my own desires. But then you came along, and everything changed. You taught me how to take a stand for myself, how to choose my own peace instead of constantly chasing the approval of others. With your gentle encouragement, I learned that saying no does not make me selfish, it simply makes me human. You showed me that my boundaries deserve respect, and for the first time, I began to believe it too. I slowly started to realize that it's impossible to please everyone, and that this is not a failure, it's simply life. Accepting this truth lifted such a heavy weight off my shoulders. My priorities shifted after meeting you. I began to see with clarity which people truly mattered and which ones only drained me. You, with your strength, independence, and unwavering sense of self, inspired me to step out of the shell I had lived in for so long. Watching you navigate life with such confidence, unbothered by meaningless opinions, unaffected by petty judgments, made me reflect deeply on my own patterns. I saw where I had been holding myself back, where I had been living not for myself but for the expectations of others. Because of you, my life has grown so much happier, more peaceful, and more joyful. I laugh more freely, breathe more deeply, and live more honestly. It feels as though the shackles that once held me have finally fallen away. And the most astonishing thing is realizing that those shackles were made of my own fears, my own anxieties, prisons created in my own mind. You helped me break free from them, not by force, but through your open-mindedness, your compassion, and your liberating way of thinking. You showed me what freedom looks like in everyday life, and in doing so, you helped me discover freedom within myself. By observing you, your courage, your authenticity, your joy, I am learning so much about how to live a fuller and happier life. You didn't preach to me, you simply lived your truth, and in witnessing that, I found the courage to start embracing my own. I'm incredibly grateful that you are part of my life. The transformation I've gone through because of you is something I will always cherish. You awaken parts of me I thought I had lost, or perhaps had never known. Thank you, sweetheart, for being my teacher, my guide, my friend, and my safe place. You never judged me for my weaknesses. You never laughed at my insecurities or dismissed my fears. Instead, you listened patiently, understood deeply, and supported me with a kindness that feels almost heavenly. I am truly lucky, blessed even, to have someone as wonderful as you walking beside me. Every day, I thank God for sending you into my life, for giving me a companion who teaches me lessons I didn't even know I needed. You have been the best thing that has ever happened to me. You've changed my world in ways I could never fully put into words, though I try with all my heart. No matter how much I thank you, no matter how much gratitude I express, it will never feel like enough. But I hope that in every word I say, and in every action I take, you can feel how deeply you are appreciated, cherished, and loved.